Welcome to the System to Success show. On this show, we'll cover the best growth advice from top CEOs in North America and beyond. On each episode, your host, Jay Crutchfield, he's a former software engineer turned entrepreneur, created and maintained online marketing, online sales, and fulfillment systems for global brands. He offers non-traditional wisdom about business systems mastery, while his guests share the story of how they built their companies. Jay and his guests talk entrepreneurship, digital marketing, strategy, and business principles. But they also talk about what it means to be human with all the ups and downs, advances, and setbacks. And what he does is he takes his information and strategies that has helped catapult global brands and brings that to the small business owner to give them that advantage. Make sure to subscribe and follow for more of these business system mastery principles.
Today's episode of the System to Success show. I'm your host, Jay Crutchfield, and on today's episode, we're going to talk about how to simplify your business life with the power of one. Uno. Not dos, not tres, not cuatro, not cinco, but the power of uno, a power of one. All right, so many people, I see them sometimes gloating in this saying that many of you probably heard before. That said is, I'm a jack of all trades and master of none. And so what are they saying with that? What are they saying is that I'm a generalist. I'm not a specialist. I have a general education on 20 different things, 30, 40 different things. And so when I hear people talk about and say, I know this isn't everybody in this category that says that, but they're saying I'm a serial entrepreneur when I know they don't have one stream of income coming in at all, but have all these different types of businesses, or they have trickles in these businesses, I can see that, okay, this person is a generalist. And so in our time, in our culture of instant gratification, when we put something out there, we want likes, we want comments, we want that engagement just like that, or we want to be able to eat just like that. And so we have all these fast food establishments that give us the instant gratification of getting the food fast, and when it doesn't come out in 5 minutes or less, then we're pissed, we're upset about it, right? Because we want it super fast, right? And so what I've seen with some of the most successful people in the world is that they are fine with going through the process of mastery, right? And so why is it super important to master something and to focus on one area at a time? Is because if you don't do these things, then you won't reach the highest levels in what you want to reach in that area. And so many of us may not want to put in that time because it's going to require some patience. Especially if you're just starting off in something, you're not going to look good. I mean, you're not going to look good starting off. You're not going to look good getting started. And so how can we start to simplify things? Sometimes I think even in business, we make things more complex than it has to be. Doing so many activities, and like 80% of that activity is just fluff. It's not, those activities are fluff. They're not really moving the needle in the areas and with the results that we're looking for. And so what we found out to take away a lot of this stress, because I remember I would be like, okay, I need this business model to focus on this. I need to do the memberships, and then also I need to do at the same time I need to do a high ticket program, and at the same time as that I need to be writing an ebook, and then at the same time as that I need to do this, and that. And it's like, hold up. Let's stop and look at how can we simplify things. And I'm focusing on just one. How can we focus on one thing and master that, become the best in that, and let the results take care of themselves. And I love this quote in The One Thing by Gary Keller. He says, what's the one thing, not the two things, three things, what's the one thing that I can do such that by doing it causes everything else to become easier or unnecessary? So what's that one thing that you can do in your business that will simplify things? What's that one business model that you can focus on right now? And once you master that, you expand to other business models. Like, what's the one thing you can focus on to alleviate the stress, to alleviate the worry, to trying to feel like you're spinning all these plates? What's one thing you can focus on, right? And so we saw that in our messaging, once we start focusing on, in our messaging, one audience, focusing on one problem that they have, a painful problem, right? And then offering one solution or offer, that's when a lot of stress started to go away on that side. And then we're able to attract the people that we wanted to come in, the folks that we spoke directly to, right? And become really good at delivering value for them, right? And so what's that one thing you can focus on? And I enjoy this concept in this book, The Practicing Mind. It's called Do, Observe, Then Correct. And that's part of that journey of mastery, is you do it, then you look at and you become aware. It's like, okay, how did this go? And then you make adjustments with that. And one of the ways that you can do that, because sometimes we don't see ourselves, right, as we're doing it, you can definitely record yourself doing it. And also finding someone who is further along in your journey than you are, have them assess what you've done, and then allow them to provide feedback. And then you correct what you have done, right? You correct that, and so that you get better and better. And so focusing on mastering the process, getting obsessed with the process and not obsessed with the result. And so shifting our attention from result to process, mastering process that leads to the result. And so once we're mastering that process, the result is going to take care of itself. All right. And so how we do that in our messaging, we focus on one audience, one problem, and one solution that we provide. And then after doing that, then we branch off into another area and master that. All right. All right. So let's simplify things. We don't want to make things complex. Sometimes human beings seem to glorify complexity, but when starting something, nobody wants to jump into, well, I won't say nobody, some people do, wants to jump into something super complex. But when it's simple, when it's a step by step, we're able to follow something, then we're more likely to stick to it, right? We're more likely to keep going when it's simple versus when it's 20 different steps to realize your dream life, or 20 different steps to get to $100,000 a year. Like, no, nobody wants to hear that. What do people want? We see it in marketing. We see it in the headlines. 3 simple ways that you can get to $100,000 or get to $1 million. Like we want the simple, right? And so what's the simple things you can do is by eliminating a lot of the fluff, eliminating the distractions, and focusing on one thing. What's that one thing in your business that's going to make everything else easier or unnecessary? Focusing on that. And once you answer that, then you implement that DOC process. You observe the behavior, and then you make corrections, and you keep rolling until you get the results that you want. All right. And so, and you can meditate as well. Take some of those deep breaths and just the chill. And once you do that, get your meditation on, jump back into it, because there's the emotional side too. When you're doing something new, and you're not getting the results that you want, even if you're not doing something new, and it's not going the way you want, remembering the process. And that's why it's good to be held accountable by having that mentor, having that coach, somebody that can hold you accountable to make sure that you keep on rolling and that you follow up and do the thing that you said you're committed to doing. All right. All right. So hope you enjoyed this episode of the Systems to Success show, and make sure to follow and subscribe for more business mastery, business systems mastery, and marketing principles. Look forward to seeing you on the next episode.